Godzilla is going to face the entire Marvel Universe, and let me tell you right away, he already took down a Celestial. I am Andrew the Geek Master, and in today's video, we are going to tell everything that happened in the first issue of Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. The story begins in an unexpected way, with a villain that almost no one takes seriously. The Mole Man, the first enemy of the Fantastic Four and technically the first villain of Marvel's modern era, is sitting on his throne. He had everything beneath the surface under his rule, but thirsty for power, he longed to conquer the world above. His subjects discovered a rare deposit of vibranium mixed with unstable molecules. From that combination, a weapon of unimaginable power was created. However, the Mole Man did not understand the consequences of his actions. When testing the weapon underground, the blast awakened a sleeping monster. Without realizing that there is always a greater and more dangerous king, he ended up awakening Godzilla himself, who was resting inside a cave. He did not want war, but now he had no choice. 4 days later, the Fantastic Four gathered at the Baxter Building. They came together to try to understand the earthquakes that had been affecting the city. The ground was rising abnormally, which worried Johnny since he already had basketball tickets purchased. They were quite relaxed until suddenly something appeared. An immense celestial emerged from the ocean, breaking through the Earth's crust as if the planet were a cocoon and destroying several buildings and bridges in the process. Reed Richards already knew about the existence of this celestial. The Thing was surprised to realize that Reed already knew this, but Mr. Fantastic explained that this celestial should not awaken for almost 1,000,000 years. Something very disturbing must have happened in the underground ecosystem to awaken it before its time. They tried to think of something to stop the celestial, and soon the Mole Man appeared, asking for the Fantastic Four's help. When Reed Richards tried to confront the Mole Man, he warned him that the celestial was not the real problem. The real danger was right behind him. Yes, the explanation the heroes had been searching for finally came to light. The Celestial did not wake up to act, it woke up to run from Godzilla. That is when Godzilla rose beside the Statue of Liberty and without hesitation went on the attack against the Celestial. The cosmic giant struck back, punching Godzilla, and the two monsters exchanged colossal blows. However, the battle was short. Godzilla brutally defeated it, ripping off the head of the divine being with his own hands. The comparison is frightening. In the dawn of time, the entity Null had to forge a sword of darkness to manage to cut off the head of a celestial. Godzilla did the same using only brute force. In shock, Reed Richards asked everyone for caution. He ordered no one to move or attack. But the Mole Man decided to use his vibranium weapon against Godzilla, which made him very angry. Seeing this, the Fantastic Four even neutralized the Mole Man so he would not do more foolishness, but it became clear that a fight was about to begin. Godzilla responded by crushing everything around with a single stomp, and only the Invisible Woman's force field saved the heroes, while Richards activated the emergency frequency, summoning any hero who could answer the call, because now they were facing a level 10 threat. And in fact, within minutes, reinforcements arrived. The Avengers, Black Panther, and even Quicksilver. With the arrival of new heroes, Reed tried to study the weapon to find some weakness, and the conclusion was discouraging. Godzilla could not be defeated. The best chance was to push him back into the water. Quicksilver rescued an entire building full of civilians in seconds, while Sue Storm raised barriers to hold back the attacks. At the moment the last civilian was saved, Godzilla simply destroyed everything, breaking through the force fields and bringing the entire building down. Reed then prepared a risky plan to lure the monster to the Baxter Building to fire a cannon that would send him to the negative zone. But before that, Thor appeared, willing to face him acting on his own, and ignored by Godzilla, he was forced to attack directly. From above, he threatened Godzilla, claiming the monster would feel the weight of Mjolnir. The lizard, of course, did not understand anything. Thor insisted it would be by force, but he had no chance. Godzilla responded with a single tail strike that launched the God of Thunder out of the atmosphere, knocked out in seconds. While Captain Marvel left to rescue him, Black Panther studied the strange metallic alloy forged from vibranium and realized that it could affect Godzilla. Wanda and the Invisible Woman joined forces to try to restrain his movements, but it was soon revealed that Godzilla was immune to Scarlet Witch's spells. The heroes even called Dr. Strange, but he was busy with another threat and promised to help later. With no options, only Captain America's determination remained. Steve Rogers climbed the Daily Bugle building and confronted the monster with firm words. He stated that Godzilla had already caused too much destruction and reminded him that the Avengers had experience facing enormous and aggressive creatures. He assured that Godzilla could choose to go back to sleep or be forced to do so forever. It was a courageous speech, but useless because Godzilla did not understand the message. Then the plates on his back began to glow and Rogers realized the mistake too late. The monster fired his atomic breath at Captain America, who raised his shield, and miraculously, the shield resisted and reflected the direct attack back against the lizard's neck. The impact opened a gash in Godzilla's body, revealing burned bones and organs. But within seconds, the wound healed, showing that he had accelerated healing. With no alternatives, Reed activated the negative zone cannon. The plan was to banish Godzilla, but at that moment Godzilla attacked in fury and the monster's strike split the Baxter building in half. As a result, the portal to the negative zone was opened inside the base itself. All the nearby heroes, Captain America, Quicksilver, Invisible Woman, Thing, Black Panther, and Mr. Fantastic himself, were sucked in and banished to the negative zone. At that moment, Captain Marvel, who had gone to rescue Thor, returned without the God of Thunder, saved Black Panther, and T'Challa decided he needed to go to Wakanda to develop a way to stop Godzilla as quickly as possible and counted on Wanda's help to return. Johnny Storm asked if Wanda could reach his family, but Captain Marvel reminded him that for now, the Human Torch needed to swallow his pain and promised that if his family really was gone, they would be avenged. Devastated, the Avengers and survivors needed to reorganize. The Fantastic Four were partially lost, and so far no effort had been able to stop Godzilla. Meanwhile, Godzilla remained free in New York, spreading destruction. But reinforcements were coming. The second group of heroes entered the scene. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Woman, Iron Man, Luke Cage, Daredevil, Iron Fist, and even Deadpool prepared to face the monster. Godzilla may have won the first clash, but the second round was approaching. Deadpool believed this meant they were the new Avengers or the new Thunderbolts. But the real question is, how will the heroes manage to win against something like this? Will the Infinity Gauntlet be necessary, or will Godzilla simply destroy the entire Marvel Universe?